Welcome back to On the Wing, the ambitious adventure where we attempt to find and identify as many bird species as possible in South Africa in one calendar year.
I don't know what I've gotten myself into.
It all kicked off with humble beginnings close to home, where the botanical gardens and Marievale got us up to 65 species. Then back to the familiar Pilansberg, which skyrocketed our tally into triple digits.
Species number 100. Only gonna get harder from here.
I then branched out to something new but equally as challenging as it was beautiful. The coastal forests of Zululand. It was much harder than expected.
It's difficult, very difficult. Tough in the forest.
But I still managed to bring back a bunch of lifers, including a severe case of hand, foot and mouth disease. Yep, all of this in just 2 months. So far, I've found this big year journey incredibly freeing. It was always just a great excuse to explore this beautiful country I get to call home. However, I must admit that I've become slightly obsessed. Filming these adventures has been a serious challenge, with many of our feathered friends living up to their name as one of the most frustrating subjects to film and photograph.
Oh my.
But having said that, when it all comes together, the reward is just so sweet. That brings us to now. It's the 11th of March and we're on 200 species. A planned trip to Kruger has been postponed due to the recent devastating floods, so we're having another go at this challenging and enchanting habitat. This time with an extra hurdle from Mother Nature herself. We're in one of the largest indigenous forests in South Africa. Welcome to Magoebaskloof.
We've arrived at Coral Tree Camp in Magoebaskloof, and my goodness, this place is stunning. As you can see here, we've got a nice grassy lawn. We can walk around barefoot, no worrying about thorns here. Beautiful fire pit and indoor area there with a fireplace inside there, just in case it is raining. We are just surrounded by forest, as you can see. Something flew over just now. I'm wondering what it was. We think maybe a long-crested eagle. And yeah, speaking of birds, we're gonna just kind of settle in, tune in the senses and relax a bit this afternoon. Maybe take a walk around. There are some little trails that wind in and out the forests here in the valley. I think tomorrow morning we'll be up bright and early to go on a proper forest mission, the first of a few.
This might be one of the most well thought out campsites I've ever stayed in. Yes, it's a little more luxurious than what we're used to, but by the end of this journey we were very grateful for the extra comfort. As the endless forests filled our lungs with oxygen, it was time to go on a stroll. I can't really believe I haven't included this in one of our many Kruger trips. It's perfectly halfway en route from Joburg to the Lowveld, but this is one of the many reasons I'm doing this big year. We're discovering new gems that are sometimes overlooked.
So we're following a similar theme to a few weeks back in the coastal forests. It's a little bit difficult, but I'm not going to say that 100 times, I promise you. We are seeing a lot of spiders though. I think we need to just accept that at some point we are going to have a large spider on our face. Also noticing that near the streams it's very tough to hear anything, and obviously we're relying a lot on sound. So might be just something worth considering over the next few days. But let's see. I mean, there's still at least an hour of daylight here, so let's carry on.
You actually have to stop and look and listen because you're so busy watching while you're walking.
Through the sounds of the gushing river, a familiar sound caught our attention. I say familiar because the raspy chirps are very similar to the African paradise flycatcher. Maybe it was just this individual, but the blue-mantled crested flycatcher, yes, it's a mouthful, seems much more relaxed in our presence than its cousin would be. Not far away, we got a glimpse of the much more secretive Charis the robin chat, which became a challenge to film over the next few days.
Is that a bird or an insect?
Four lifers on a short stroll is pretty good going if you ask me, and it had us beaming with excitement for what the next 3 days could bring. However, little did we know that this would be the last glimpse of sunshine we'd get, and this was the driest we would be.
It doesn't seem safe. That sounds like a dog, but it's actually an antelope. I think it might be like a bushbuck. That's their alarm call. It obviously saw me and freaked out. It's been raining a bit, and it's very typical of this area. It's just like that kind of drizzly rain that settles in. It's like a whole different weather system up here, hence forest. We're gonna make a coffee and just head out there anyways. I had an idea in mind of what I wanted to do this morning, and I think we'll just go through with it and just see if maybe the rain stays away. Otherwise, we'll just go with the flow. I mean, we can't be upset. This is the way it is here. Let's make the most of it.
The plan for the morning is to explore the famous Woodbush Forest. It's primarily done by slowly driving down a road named Forest Drive, stopping, walking around, then moving on further, and repeating until you reach the apparently beautiful Degembeni Falls.
You can't see a thing.
Alright, so we've come up to this viewpoint just to start off. We got a little bit lost, of course. That's just the way we do things on this channel. But we made it here. We're kind of high up in the clouds or the mist. There's an inconspicuous turn off just down the road here. And we'll do a little bit of parking, walking, and see what we come out with. Let's just stand here for a while.
These groups of Yellow Street's green bulls were prominent throughout the morning. They work the mid-level canopy, clambering around much like a woodpecker. Another giveaway when we identified it was the flicking of one wing.
Okay, so that's quite a good start to our morning here in the forest. Just a heads up, you will probably see more photographs than video clips. It just seems to be way easier to capture these birds. So the tactic is take photos and then try to film them if they're still around. And I thank Phileas Dane for that tip. It's actually working quite well. Not a trogon.
They're grey. Looks big though.
You might think it was silly of me to think this might have been an arena trogon. It's probably a good time for me to mention that I am colorblind. No, I don't see in black and white, but greys can look very green at times. Other confusing colors are yellow and green, red and brown, green and brown, blues and purples. The list goes on, and it's very dependent on context and different hues. It's fair to say that an environment like this can have my brain spinning a little. But trust me, I do see the beauty in it all. About a kilometer down Forest Drive, the road began missing bits of itself. I did receive a message saying this road was a stream just a week ago and parts of it had washed away.
So we're coming a little bit down into the valley now, which hopefully should help with the rain. We're not actually like up in the clouds. Quite a steep rocky stream that the road becomes back there. So just idling down in low range. But yeah, let's see what's like coming down the valley here does for us bird-wise. It's actually getting quite hectic here, like really rocky. It's obviously been washed away a bit by recent floods. I'm not too sure. And I mean, look at this. It would be tough to turn around here. Oh dear. I mean, this is kind of not the bad part, but this up ahead here, it looks dodge. Alright, we're gonna just reverse back up here to a point where we can actually do a U-turn. We're not here to 4x4 and do all that stuff. We want to just like relax and actually find some birds and enjoy the nature. Just don't feel like it's worth it. Those big steps get worse and worse every like couple of 100 meters or so, and don't want to be in a position where we can't turn around at all. So yeah, let's just do that.
Although we effectively missed out on 80% of the main attraction here, this turned out to be a wise decision, as I later received an email advising us to only do the top section. So we rolled with the punches and thoroughly explored the small section that we could.
So we can hear what sounds like some kind of thrush, maybe an orange ground thrush, kind of guessing a little bit, even though we did our homework. There's a few singing up ahead here. It's just like a beautiful call, and we want to approach really slowly and quietly, see if we can just get a glimpse, maybe a photograph or something.
I think it's moved.
Never mind.
We came back past the mystery grey bird, which turned out to be a grey cuckooshrike. Unlike true cuckoos, they're not a brood parasite, so they raise their own young. Their nests are made mainly of lichen bound together by spiderweb, both of which are found here in abundance.
Grey cuckooshrike. It's a lifer for both of us.
Everything's alive for me now.
Yeah, everything's a lifer for Kaylee on this trip.
The morning quietened down as the rain fell harder, which prompted us to return to our cozy camp, where we just happened to be cooking the perfect meal for this weather. We are making a potjie.
A potjie is like an Afrikaans word for a pot, actually. So we just making like a big stew. It's like a big stew in a cool pot.
Okay.
On a fire.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some lamb. Got a recipe from my brother. And yeah, we'll take it easy at camp. Maybe there's some birds that come by. We'll keep an eye and ear out. Cook a little bit of a traditional South African lamb potjie. Meat that's been spiced up with some steak and chop spice. Kaylee doing the honors. And that's gonna go in with the onion and garlic. Just brown it up. And from then on, I think it's like layers, right? So hard vegetables, soft vegetables later on. This is going to take hours. This is the whole idea behind a potjie. I think minimum 3 hours will be good. We want that meat falling off the bone, almost like just melting away. Soft veggies, and we'll thicken it up later on. I don't know, let's see how it goes. Like really, it's been a few years. We're just kind of having fun with this. Don't worry, this is not becoming a cooking channel. We're just enjoying ourselves while sharing something South African. So I'm going to put the soft veggies in. We've got mushrooms, marrows, patty pans. Ooh, we're looking good, we're looking good. This metal mug is becoming legendary on this big year. Yeah, we forgot to bring a thick spoon. Yo, that looks good.
Okay, and bowls. Okay.
Yeah, and balls. Alright, how would you say that is?
Yo, that is divine. It's so good. Mm-hmm.
The original plan today was to head to, I think it's called Swartboshout Forest, which is not far from here. It's a different forest to the Woodbush, and we were going to do a trail. But it's quite miserable today, I think even worse than what was predicted. So we're going to just change plans and maybe save that for another time when things are a bit clearer. We're going to head back towards Woodbush, but don't take that turn off. We're going to head down towards a dam. I think it's called Dap Nordia Dam. Maybe just get a little bit lost out there and see what we see, get out the car when it's not raining and have a look around. Just really do a proper on the wing style, just explore and find out. Gonna finish our coffee first. Hopefully this lifts a bit. It's quite misty, can't even see the view. But yeah, fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. We were feeling hopeful, but not entirely optimistic. Throwing caution to the wind was all we could really do. A patch of yellow ginger lilies under the plantations stopped us in our tracks. Surely some sunbirds would be enjoying this. These greater double-collared sunbirds are told from the southern double-collared by their larger red band and longer bill. I suppose birds don't just hide from the rain for days at a time. They've got to feed and move on with life. Realizing this warmed up our optimism for the day ahead. Pairs of ashy flycatchers seemed to be enjoying the fringes beside the road as we slowly re-entered the clouds before descending down towards the dam. We would highly recommend this route. The dam itself and the picnic site west of it seems like a productive spot with plenty of potential. We certainly would have spent a lot more time on foot here in different circumstances.
We are getting quite wet, but what is it? Perseverance, patience and enthusiasm is really pulling us through this morning, and I'm so glad we came out. Forest canary was definitely a highlight. Black sawwing, which of course I was not able to film. That thing's like a little fighter jet. Yeah, we're just actually having a really good time still. If you just look around here, I mean, does it get much better than this? I'll take a rainy day in the forest over a sunny day back at home. Still got quite a way to slowly get out of this place back towards the main road. And I guess our little forest game drive, if you want to call it that, has been actually very rewarding.
In fact, we didn't really want to leave as the sunbird action continued near the Swakala brewery, where we stopped for a quick bite.
gummies.
It might be time to get one of those birders car stickers. This amethyst sunbird really stood out amongst the flowers. At the right angle, the iridescent purple throat and shoulder patches, which I always thought were blue, shine beautifully even in this low light. Back to camp, where we now had an infinity pool.
Yep, you guessed it. It's still raining. We spent a good 7 or 8 hours out there all over the place looking for birds this morning and into the afternoon. Came back and had a goshawk, I think an African goshawk, came by and just said hello to us, which was quite a nice surprise. And we've just been wondering what to do while it's raining, where to go. We can't really walk around because you just get soaked. We've actually found a really good spot, really good spot. There's a lot of activity just over here, down into this valley, in the bathroom.
The best place.
It's a pretty good spot.
Another interesting sight was this dark-capped bulbul attempting to grab a spider. Of course, as I stopped recording, he came back and grabbed it. But little moments like this were still available, and at this point we were clearly just having childlike fun. My mood would have been very different on this trip if it wasn't for Kaylee's ever-bright energy.
Bird.
Gumboots would be the way. Then you can just bundle that. It's still raining. I think it's been going for I don't know, at least 2 days straight now. I've heard a lot about the Swartbos Trail from various people, and apparently it can be even more rewarding than the Woodbush Forest. This is our last full day, so I'm not too sure if we're gonna get another chance. We're probably just gonna get drenched, but I think we're gonna just give it a go and make a plan with some big black plastic bags. How do we do this?
Yes.
Just poke our head through. Yeah, I can keep my camera underneath here. And then
Dry.
let's do this. Feet are already drenched. How are yours feeling?
Swimming.
Maybe, hopefully it goes down a bit, into the valley and then out of this mist. There's mannequins. Mannequins and white eyes somewhere. This is an incredibly beautiful place, I must say. And I'm so glad once again that we actually came out. They've gone.
What is it?
Looks like a brown scrub robin through my viewfinder.
Okay.
There it goes down there. Well, that was very, very special. I think we're actually a little bit lost for words. Felt like, I don't know about you, but for a few minutes there I kind of forgot we were in South Africa. Not a difficult trail at all. We don't feel tired. So obviously we were not very lucky, mostly down to the weather, but the red-backed mannequin and I think it was a brown scrub robin was quite special. I think what we're realizing is that we actually just have to come back. We really do, when the weather's a bit better, because the potential in there is just incredible, and I feel like we could easily double our count.
As the final afternoon approached, I found myself walking a fine line between a playful positivity and a slow burning frustration.
That's all we can do for now.
Yes, I am well aware that we are very fortunate to travel to these beautiful places, but at the same time, a lot is invested into these trips and creating these videos. However, as I've edited this, I'm reminded that it's all a vital part of the greater adventure. We tried our best to link up with a man named David, the highly recommended local bird guide, to learn a few things from his expert perspective. But unfortunately, it seems like we weren't the only ones battling the elements. We'll do this when I come back later this year, and yes, I will be returning. Just as I was about to pack away the camera for good, a very brief dry period gave us a glimpse of the true potential here, with a mini explosion of activity around camp. This brought our running total for the big year to 220. I even managed a focused shot of the Chorister robin chat. Considering everything, I think you'll agree we could not have done more to get the most out of this journey, and it ended up being quite a memorable experience, to say the least.
Everything is absolutely soaking.
We didn't even sleep in there last night, we slept in here. Because the inside of the tent is like a, I don't know, like a greenhouse.
Standing in a swamp.
You're doing a great job, keep going. Things we do to look for pretty little birds.
Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.